What's it like to live with such a voice? Because some of you may listen to my audio and think, man, she's changed the voice. She's done something to the audio, and I've literally done nothing at all. Like, there's no EQ on this at all. And I'm pretty sure I'm making little clicky sounds with my mouth right now, and I apologize about that. But I just don't have the software to change it in any kind of a way, and, I just talk to you. Do you know what I mean? But I wanna give you a little bit of insight because if you do find my voice some kind of a way, lots of people are very put off by it, and they're like, "What? What kind of woman sounds like that?" And they make lots of very uncharitable, um, comments about me, and I will tell you that I've made children with my own body on accident even. I was like, on accident, I made a couple people. And that should tell you all you need to know about who I am. And I don't really care, even if I was something else, even if I was some other version of a woman than the one that I am currently. I still wouldn't deserve people to talk shit about me just because my voice sounds like this and I don't sound like I am a tiny child. Do you know what I mean? But I will say that it has afforded me a very unique experience in life because not everybody has like this sound coming out of their mouth, especially like um, a woman walking the world. It's very interesting and it's quite unique, and it's never gone over well. I would say. I mean, I've never opened my mouth in a room and had people be like, "Wow," unless it was in an uncomfortably sexual context. Um, and that's a weird one, right? To be sporting a giant thick neck to allow this voice to happen. And it's gonna it's gonna make people even more curious what I look like. And I'll tell you, you'll be wrong. No matter what. You can't hear someone's voice and then see their face and be like, wow, yeah, that matches. It takes forever of seeing their face and hearing their voice at the same time to get it together. But I'll say, when I was an early teen, I remember being like 10 years old and answering the phone, and I did not sound exactly like this at 10 years old, but I did sound quite a lot deeper than you would expect a child to sound. And people would address me like I was my mother and that I was lying. And so eventually I just pretended to be my mother and say no, because they'd be like, "Oh, um, hello," and say my mom's name. And I would be like, "Oh, yeah, she's not here." And they're like, "Are you really pretending to be a child right now?" And there were actually people that did that. Or like people would call my house, and this is way before cell phones really were a thing. This is when we had the cordless phone with the answering machine, and that was everything. Because if you left the house and you had no idea who would call you, when they would call you, what they might want at all whatsoever. So you left the house, you was just gone. You were doing your stuff, you were running into people, you were having conversations out, and then you were coming home and finding out what people wanted. You were coming home and finding out news. That was basically what it was. Getting home used to be so much more eventful because you were like, let's get over to the answering machine. Let's hit it. Let's listen to what's going on. And then you got real fancy right at the end there where you could get the cordless phone and hear the answering machine through the cordless phone. That was one of my last recollections and interactions with the house phone, as it were, when I was a late teenager. I'm old. It's okay that I'm old. It's fine. But so I spent so much time on the phone as a teenager because that's we were like that back then too. If you were a needy ass bitch and you didn't have anybody in your life that liked you, you were on the phone with your friends. And I was on the phone with boys all the time. And boys would become quite enamored with my voice. And some people find my voice quite calming. Other people find it, sexual in some kind of a way. Other people are off put and appalled by it, especially when I play video games and I hit my thing and I tell somebody something and they hear my voice. It takes them a second to process and they're like, whoa, what? And some people are like, oh my God, it's so hot. And other people are like, ew, God, get it out of here. And it's a very interesting thing to me because I would like to understand why the "oh God, get it out of here" exists in the way that it does. Because like, what? What do you mean? What's wrong with it? Like, what? It's like almost as though for most people that live in a specific culture and like I don't want to say culture actually. Most people that live in a specific bubble have never heard a woman speak with a particular timbre, like a natural, regular, unchanged changed timber like this. And in my experience in life, I have heard so many women speak like this because I've been around my family who genetically have the same width of the neck and the vocal cords to have this happen. Um, so for me in the world, I wasn't surprised, but not everybody is a thick neck, I guess. Thick old red neck. um, and that's okay though, because I think someday, now that I'm actually brave enough to start speaking right into a microphone like this and then posting it for the world to not listen to, maybe someday I'll be a voice actor because I think that unique voices deserve to be heard. And when some people hear it, it's like a sip of wine. Do you know what I mean? It's enjoyable. So the whole point of me making videos and things is so that you can hear my voice and understand that it's not the easiest thing in the world to be an unconventional person. And I am one unconventional person in multitudes of ways. And one of the greatest ones, I think, is this. I can't be anything other than this voice. I can't tune it up higher just because you want to hear it higher. I can't become less just because it makes boys comfortable when I'm less. I'm going to be more, boy. I've learned now in my adult life that everything they actively tried to suppress from me were the things that could have gotten me somewhere, things that could have allowed my soul to express joy. So I'm not gonna pretend or try and make it smaller, make my voice sound higher, just so that people will be comfortable with it. I'm gonna continue to speak to you exactly as I am and understand that there's lots of people that sound like this, and there are lots of voices that deserve to be heard and lots of stories. And boy, do I have stories I'm gonna tell you. But I don't want to go on and on and on because most people haven't even listened to this far. So I hope y'all have a good day. I love you. Bye.